know, Bobby Shmurda, he went on math. He spoke on the whole NBA Youngboy situation. He spoke on it. The beef they had, the internet chatter they had. You can clearly tell from this interview that wasn't going to lead to the blicking. You know, you can tell he had a lot of fun energy in the interview. Even though it was seriousness in the interview, you can tell Bobby did a long time. He enjoying life. It was not one time in that interview that I watched that it felt like Bobby Shmurda wanted to crash out, throw his life away, even though he was saying things, you know. That NBA Youngboy KingVon situation is strong. People don't understand that. Its side's been picked, even with people who don't know. Its sides that have been picked silently. That's how dangerous this shit is. You wouldn't even know. You would be in a room with a motherfucker not knowing they got a problem with you. That's the reason why the back door don't always be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sometimes it'll be a month, 2 months, years later. Everybody speaking on this KingVon situation. We done seen it. A conversation with just Rowdy Rebel led to something viral. Bobby Shmurda speaking on it, you know. NBA Youngboy didn't like that shit. You feel me? He called him Von Shmurda, and that kind of felt funny because he trolling Von's name when he wasn't there when Von died. To be honest with you, he just got pushed in this situation, but he taking up for Quando the same way Dirk taking up for Von. We see that. But he went on Mav's show. He spoke. He basically saying, you know, you can't speak on certain situations. You got to mind your business, especially when people pass. You know, people got families. Sometimes you will be speaking on situations and people don't like it, you know, especially on the outsiders, even though they part of the drill culture. A lot of people credit them with being the first people to ever be in the drill art, to be in the drill culture. People don't know that. Actually, when Bobby Shmurda was arrested for that whole little case shit that went down, you know, Bobby Shmurda was gone for a long ass time. He was actually arrested at Quad Studios. That's the same studio where Tupac was shot at and shit. Quad Studios is actually in Manhattan in New York. I actually had a chance to go there to those studios to do a crime scene because Bobby Shmurda got arrested there. He was part of the drill culture, so you know the street reporter had to go there. Y'all check this video out.
It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter, and a lot of people always ask me about the drill. A lot of people ask me where was drill invented from. And we speak on Chicago. A lot of people say Dro City created the movement. It came from that area. A lot of people say Pac-Man created it. E-Day say 600 created it. A lot of people say Chief Keef and Lil Durk, maybe because they took it bigger than anybody could have ever took it to. But when it comes to the New York drill, a lot of people ask me where did it start from. I done did a lot of research. I done talked to a lot of people. I came to New York, as you can see, we in Times Square, you know, because I wanted to get this question answered. I wanted to be honest with this shit. A lot of people say maybe 22 G's. A lot of people say other people. But the most people I talk to credit Bobby Shmurda with creating the drill in Chicago. A lot of people say the drill was created in this studio right here. Okay, now if you don't know exactly what this is actually Quad Studios in New York. A lot of your famous rappers that came to this studio right here. Jay-Z, DMX, everybody. Bobby Shmurda created his album inside of this studio right here. A lot of people created this, the building with creating the drill culture. You want to know what's crazy about this too is Bobby Shmurda actually got arrested, indicted on racketeering charges, shooting, gun, drugs related, narcotics, all kind of shit. He was actually arrested in this building right here, as you can see. Cameraman, kind of get some of that. It looks kind of like it's abandoned and shit like that. As crazy as it sounds, but actually that studio is open. That's a world-renowned studio. That's one of the most famous studios in the world. Bobby Shmurda actually was walked out of this place by the feds, the FBI, the police, the state police, him, Rowdy Rebel, and a few more of his GS9 camp. A lot of people was arrested coming out of this building. Bobby Shmurda was indicted. He was facing like 10, 15, 20 years. He ended up getting 7 years. He only had to do 6 of those years, and he got out early. A lot of people consider him a legend because, you know, the judge and the courts tried to give him a deal if he can get people up and tell on him. They was going to work a deal out with him, but he didn't work no deal out. He said he don't want to do that, so he left that alone. He ended up serving 6 years out of that 7 years. He was recently released. Still think he's on papers and shit like that, but I'm hearing he's working on new material. I want to get a look into the studio, cameraman, if we can. I'll get it for you for a second. This is the famous studio, as you can see. I don't know if you can really get a look in here or anything like that. Excuse me, is this still a studio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's still open. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I'm gonna try to see if we can go in there. Maybe see if we can talk to a few people or something like that. But yeah, this is the official studio. A lot of people credit the studio with creating the sound that kind of got popular, as crazy as that sound. Another thing though that a lot of people don't realize is it was a lot of shootings involved in this studio. A lot of people that got shot in this studio. One of the most famous rappers of all time, Tupac Shakur, he was actually shot and robbed in this studio. This is the studio that he speaks about being shot and robbed at. This is the studio that created the New York West Coast War. This is the studio that created the beef between Tupac and Biggie Smalls. Tupac allegedly was in an area when Lil C's and some of the Junior Mafia Biggie homies kind of seen Pac and they called him from up here. Trying to get some of this from the cameraman. I guess they was up in one of these rooms before all the buildings and windows got knocked out. I guess they seen Pac and told him to come in the studio. He came in here. He was robbed on the elevator and shot. So this is the famous studio. So a lot of people come in. There has been people killed outside the studio and shot. I'm gonna see if we can come in if that's possible. Stay tuned. We're gonna stop the camera and see if we can get in there. As you can see, we're in Squad Studio.
Oh. What did you say, Daddy?
These are the famous elevators that Tupac got on when he got shot. Don't press that, baby. These are the famous elevators. This is the actual elevator Tupac was on. I don't know if they fixed the elevator, but it was on this side. Reading the paperwork and shit like that, they say the elevator was on the left side. So I believe this is the elevator, man. Tupac got shot on. Crazy, man. But I wanted to tell you guys that. So we up out of here. Come on, baby. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, as you can see, this is the official studio of Quad Studios, man. As you can see, we in New York. I wanted to come out here and give you guys these stories because I can't give you the drill culture in New York if I ain't been out there.
As you can see, I was at Quad Studios in New York. We took True Teller TV on the road. So Bobby Shmurda is entrenched in the culture now. When it comes to the drill shit, he has the right to speak on them topics, and so does Rowdy Rebel. They might not be from Chicago, but they are entrenched in the culture. I think what Bobby said was strong, though. Sometimes you do gotta mind your business. You never know how people can take things, you know? Rowdy Rebel got a relationship with Shoebox. Remember, they got a video out. Rowdy Rebel cool with a lot of guys in O Block. Bobby Shmurda and them got a relationship with Fabio Foreign. Fabio Foreign did a song with KingVon. So, you know, they got compassion for Von. They love Von. But you can clearly tell this ain't gonna lead to nobody dying, you know. The internet might have instigated this, and I think Bobby Shmurda ran with the algorithms, you know. NbaYoungboy said something, he gave Bobby Shmurda new light in this shit, you know. Bobby Shmurda didn't follow the right blueprint when he came out of jail just to jump into the rap shit, but it seemed like he gonna take this wave and ride it with some music dropping. He did an interview right away. Now look for some music to drop. It's a lot of people monetizing off of KingVon death. That's the first thing that come to my head. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the only truth. KingVon had the golden touch. Like anything he touched turned to gold. Anybody who knew him, conversations about him. Hell, if he was an Uber driver and dropped him off at Walmart, it's an interview waiting on you. That man had the gold touch, the Midas touch, in my opinion. He probably would have been bigger than life if he was still alive. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the only truth.